To read out a few things to you because Daniel Bwala, who is a special advisor to Mr. President, did give us 8 ways that President Tinubu has transformed Nigeria's economy in just 2 years. I just want to give you a few of them. He said there's been a drastic increase in domestic crude refining capacity. I guess, of course, that's attributed to the Dangote refinery. He says stabilization in the cost of living. I don't know if Nigerians will agree with that, but I mean, we did hear news in the last week or two about inflation coming down. There's talk about Nigeria becoming a favorite destination for foreign investors because our Naira is supposedly now stable. Of course, removal of fuel subsidy, amongst other things. A lot of this might be questioned by Nigerians and what they feel, but this is what the government is saying. And it's hard to argue whether policy is right or wrong as compared to what the effects might be. What are your thoughts?
I think that for the Tinubu administration, a lot of things is about performance, is about press statements, flashy headlines, social media posts. There's no real engagement, no real accountability. You are tweeting economic figures to Nigerians while we are crying in queues. You can't be effective when you only talk to yourself. You can't claim to lead when you don't listen. And if you can't listen to ordinary Nigerians, then you don't deserve. A lot of people that we have in offices today don't deserve the title public servants. There's clearly a disconnect between the actions. Just like he said, the average Nigerian will wonder, what's this person talking about? Who is Daniel Bwala in the first place? And how does he reveal out these figures without understanding what the ground is saying, what the needs and concerns of the people are saying? If your policies and your figures are only understandable to economists and billionaires, then you're not leading anybody. You're not leading Nigerians. You're merely hiding. You're telling Nigerians to endure suffering and listening to figures while those in powers are cashing out. You're not feeling the weight of over 200 million voices that are growing hungrier, that are going hungrier, that are going louder.
In October of 2022, Mr. President released a manifesto. This was pre-election, and a lot of Nigerians scrutinized it at the time. And I just wanted to read out some of the things that he promised: to build a better Nigeria, especially for young people, where sufficient jobs with decent wages would create a better life. He promised to, revive manufacturing and create and invest more in the goods and services sector, to export more and import less, to strengthen our exports, basically, modernize and expand public infrastructure, embolden and support young people and women in particular, train and give economic opportunities to the poorest of the poor, generate, transmit, distribute sufficient, affordable electricity. But I mean, reading this manifesto, I don't know, do you feel like these have been met?
If governance is about what you promise, I think that I can also wake up one day and say that I want to establish my own country. Governance is about performance. Governance is about people. Governance is about lived reality, survival, dignity. And so clearly, Nigerians who are even listening to this can see that that is out of touch. There's no government achievement that we can promise or point to today that has been fully operational for local relief. There's nothing that this government can say that they claim credit for that has stabilized the cost of living for Nigerians. Nigerians are skipping meal, a bag of rice is not even your minimum wage cannot buy a bag of rice. Parents are pulling out of school. So we can talk all and all about projects, but where's the stability? Where's the stability for Nigerians? How is it measuring in the lives of Nigerians? And then we talk about these manifestos, for example. If manifestos again could build nations, then Nigeria would be heaven by now. We have beautiful manifestos. That document that you just read was just a political brochure. It's not a governance blueprint. And 2 years later, almost everything in it has collapsed under the weight of its own hypocrisy. Just for young people, where unemployment is rising, not shrinking. At some point in time, they had to even readapt their definition of unemployment. So even those with jobs cannot survive on the wages they are being paid. Young people are not building careers. What we are building right now are coping mechanisms just to survive. We're not exporting talents everywhere. Well, the only thing we're exporting right now, even to the West, is trauma. And the so-called manufacturing revival. Please show me the factories. What we are seeing instead, the headline says are local and international producers who are shutting down because of forest instability, because of unbearable energy costs, because of zero incentives. Electricity. Nigerians are on band A, band B, band Z, and we are still in darkness. Power bills have quadrupled for services that have remained accidents. So all this administration does is to make announcements and not deliver results. They can build all headlines and all they want, but they're not building livelihoods. We can recite manifestos all we want, but Nigerians are out here every day manifesting suffering every day. So no, those promises have not been met. They've been abandoned, and that's the only thing that is consistent in this government for me. Nigeria was was broken by the former administration of Buhari. But what this current continuity administration did was to shatter us into pieces. Yes, we were already battling inflation, we were already battling insecurity, but now we are even fighting just to eat and survive. There are no reforms, no removal, no restructuring. All we have is repackaged hardship. All I see is trying to shift blames, just like the administration have said. Tinubu came in campaigning that it will continue Buhari's legacy. So I didn't know what Nigerians expected in the first place. His economic promises are a mirage. As a Nigerian, do you feel secure today, more secure today than in 2023 or 2022 when Buhari was in power? Our people are being kidnapped like chickens all over the country. We are losing lives every day to the pure incompetence of this administration. Nigerians are dying like a people without government. And instead of renewed hope, all we have is renewed pain and suffering. So tell me, why are we still shifting blames when it's still the same APC power that is in power? Tinubu government people are forcing people to suffer more and are calling it reforms. And we're saying, oh, the economy was bad in the first place. The other governments, sabotage Nigeria. So what exactly are you doing right now? How do you expect us to give you any blame of the doubt when it's still the same APC power?
I want to start by saying this. This is Bola Tinubu's midterm report card. I want to start by saying that it is an abysmal failure and it is an incompetent government. And every single thing 2 years into this administration that Tinubu promised as part of his renewed hope agenda is totally failed. And I will tell you why. But before we go into breaking down everything that Ibuka discussed with this guest on this channel today, I'd like for you to watch this to the end. And if you're meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've been following us and you've not subscribed, please do so. But make sure you watch this to the end. Now, let's start by looking at the renewed hope agenda, what Bola Tinubu promised Nigeria. All right. He says it's going to build a Nigeria, especially for our youth, where sufficient jobs with decent wages create a better life. That's number one. Manufacture, create, and invent more of the goods and services we require here in Nigeria. Export more and import less here in Nigeria. Continue assisting our ever-toiling farmers. Continue assisting our ever-toiling farmers. We're going to come back to that because it's significant. Modernize and expand public infrastructure. Please tell me whether you've seen any modernization in your place of locality. Embolden and support our young people and our women by harnessing emerging sectors such as the digital economy. That's the same digital economy they want to clamp down because they've not been able to figure out what exactly they want to do with that economy. Train and give economic opportunity to the poorest and the most vulnerable. Please, the poorest, the most vulnerable are the ones who are getting killed every day. They're killed in their homes while in their villages while they sleep, by terrorists, by Boko Haram. They're kidnapped as they travel the roads every single day. And the government says that's what they want to do. Generate, transmit, and distribute sufficient affordable electricity to give our people the requisite power to enlighten their lives. Now, if the government cannot even do that, they have to, put a budget, an astronomical budget for their own solar power in the Aso Rock. So when I say it's an abysmal failure, that's what I meant. Make basic healthcare, education, and housing accessible. Please, Nigerians are pulling their children out of school. They can afford to pay the tuition fee. Tuition fee under this government skyrocketed 100-fold. And most importantly, this is Tinubu's renewed agenda. Most importantly, establish a bold and assertive policy that will create strong and yet adaptable national security architecture and action to obliterate terror, kidnappings, banditry. So when I say that Bola Tinubu was failed, 2 years, midterm, that's what I meant. So when I read all of this today, look at the one I want to focus on first. Continue to assist our ever-toiling farmers. Our farmers can't go to work. They can't go to the farm. In their farms, haters are killing them. Kidnappers are kidnapping them. Terrorists after them every day and every night. Borno, Yobe, Benue, Kogi, all over the length and breadth of our country. 2 years into this Bola Tinubu administration, I want to ask you, what is your report card concerning this Bola Tinubu? When you assess this government, have they met the threshold of success or not for you? In my opinion, Bola Tinubu administration is a total failure. I mean, I've done several videos on this administration in a way, but I want to use this to reamp that conversation about everything that Bola Tinubu promised. The only thing they can point to right now is to say, look at the Lagos State Calabar motorway or coastal road rather. That's the only thing they can look at. Our roads are bad. Our hospitals are not hospitable anymore. Public infrastructure not good enough. The same president is traveling to go to France to go renew his own health, while our own healthcare system is crumbling under his weight. Manufacturing jobs are closing every day. Businesses are folding every day. And they're saying that Nigeria is becoming a hub for investors. Please, what is our foreign direct investment the last 2 years? Under this administration, that dropped massively. But yet they're telling us that Nigeria is becoming a hub because of the stability in the Naira. The lived experiences of Nigerians and the ones of Bola Tinubu and his acolytes, two different things entirely. That vote of confidence that was passed on him by the APC is just rubbish. Do you understand? So, what do you think about this Bola Tinubu administration? I've asked this before because I think it's a failure. I believe that if you look at everything that he's talking about, he's saying they made a lot of catastrophe on the ground. It is the same APC people. Bola Tinubu said he was going to follow after the footsteps of Buhari, and he's done nothing but that. Literally, the lady was correct. Bola Tinubu met a bad economy, and you know what scattered Nigeria into several pieces? Bad policies, leading to bad governance, oppressing the people, using the Inspector General to harass dissenting voices. And that's meant to be what? A democratic government and a Democrat? Please make that make sense to everybody. So I'm asking you as well again, what is your assessment, your midterm assessment of this Bola Tinubu's administration? Are you in support of it? Do you think he's in the right direction? Do you think he's making progress? Is that the life or lived experience, everyday lived experience by Nigerians? Yourself, your loved ones, your family. How are you feeling the pinch of the economy? Are things stable in your own place? Are the prices of things, goods and services the same every time you go out to buy things? Or we're constantly, fluctuating depending on the cost of the exchange rate of the dollar. What do you think? So this is a question for all of us to answer. This is a question for us to look at because we're heading towards 2027. I've said this before. 2027 is the fight for the soul of our country. Again, if you're meeting this content for the first time, please like, share, and subscribe. If you've been following us and you've not yet subscribed, please do so. And I will catch you up in the next video. But please share this content with others on this channel as well. God bless you. Bye-bye for now.